All right, guys, let's talk Grand Seiko. Today we're going to check out the SBGM247. This beauty right here, an automatic true GMT from Grand Seiko, done at such a high level. Beautiful watch. First off, I have to say big thanks to the team over at Exquisite Timepieces for working with me to get these watches on these videos to share with you guys. So, link in the description. Get a hold of them. Tell them I sent you. You'll trust me. It's a good experience. They have a lot of different brands, and they have a lot of things in stock ready to go. So let's get into the case size on this, and then I'm going to give you some more thoughts on it. First off, I want to cover the size. So we're looking at a width of the case at 40.2 millimeter. The lug to lug is a 48.5 millimeter. You have drilled lugs. Very high polished side profile on this and a few other bits. You can see I'm already smudging it up. It's about 14.9 millimeter thick. It has a double dome sapphire crystal with AR coating. You have 20 millimeter lug width here, and this excellent bracelet tapers down to 18 millimeter. You have a full fold over clasp with double pushers, and it has a nice curve to it to match your wrist, and it has 4 micro adjusts with those little spring bars. You have screw pins in this too. So quite a refresh on the bracelet and clasp system compared to some of the older Grand Seikos from what I've noticed. Just under 6 millimeter screw down crown, should have 200 meter water resist. I think it says it on here somewhere. The movement inside is the 9S66. It's just the current generation for the GMT. It is a true GMT where you can just move the hour hand without messing with the timekeeping. So it'll be very clean. You set the GMT, and then as you travel, whether you're going, different time zones to the future, to the past, whatever, you can adjust the hour hand. That is also how you're going to set the date. So if you're not familiar with that, there's tons of videos out there. I'm not going to get into it. The movement is 35 joules, 72-hour power reserve. They have 2 different measurements that they use for the accuracy. I'm going to give you the real world one that they put on their website. And they're saying under normal use, you should see accuracy levels to +10 to -1. And I suspect it's probably going to be even tighter than that. So if you already have one of these newer Grand Seiko 9S66 movements, I want you to chime in down in the comments. Let everybody know, what is this thing doing on your wrist? Because it's one thing to throw it on a time grapher, and I've learned this with even the lesser grade Seiko. Oftentimes they're a little bit better performing than what the internet says, right? Real world application sometimes will show you that they're very accurate, and I think this one will hopefully meet that criteria. So as you can see, it has a beautiful green dial. We're going to zoom in on this bad boy. As we're talking about this, the main thing I think that's going to hold people up is maybe the price. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It definitely matters to me, and I think it matters to a lot of you. It's $5,700. It is not a cheap watch, but you're talking Grand Seiko. And I have to be clear in my bias here. I'm a Seiko fanboy, so I already like so much about the brand Seiko, typically with the case designs and everything. And for me personally, a lot of the Grand Seiko that I've handled in the past didn't really capture the Seiko spirit that I was so drawn to in the divers. But I feel like this watch, this is a Grand Seiko that I can get behind because it kind of reminds me of the MM200 reduced case. It has all those Seiko vibes that, I'm such a big fan of. They put it in a Grand Seiko premier product line, the Zaratsu polishing, the super accuracy, a true GMT movement, and a beautiful colorway. So I'm kind of digging it. I'm starting to think that $5,700 isn't so bad. And you got to keep this in mind, and I wasn't really going to compare this to another watch, but I recently owned and then sold the Tudor Black Bay Pro. I just didn't connect with it for some reason. And I don't know, it just didn't vibe with me. And I feel like this watch is vibing with me way more than I suspected it would, because I typically am not really looking at Grand Seiko as a brand. So, but this one, I don't know. And it's definitely this color, because I know you can get it in blue, different model number, obviously. but this green with that orange is just stunning. It looks very sporty, but clean and timeless. So you have your date, of course, at the 4 o'clock position in line with the crown. You have that very nicely done orange GMT hand. GMT also done in orange, and the printing on the dial just below the automatic. Grand Seiko logo applied and then printed. You have applied indexes. You have loom at the 12, 3, 6, and 9, and I'll show you that here in a moment. And then, of course, on the hour, minute, and GMT hand. The finishing on these is just spectacular. If you ever get a chance to check out one of these Grand Seiko in person at a boutique or authorized dealer, definitely check them out. They have a ton to choose from. As you can see, they're not your regular watch. I mean, they're special. And with being special comes a special price for sure. Let's pop this on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see what that looks like. I really like the new bracelet here. I like the new clasp. I'm not going to size this up. This is a brand new watch, but you can see on my 7 1/4 inch wrist, again, it just has that special Seiko feel. It feels at home. I mean, if you guys are Seiko fanboys, you know what I'm saying. You can literally pick up just about any Seiko diver, put it on your wrist, and you're like, yeah, that works. That 100% works. And this is one of the first Grand Seiko that I've tried on wrist and had that exact same feeling. So it's scary. I have to get this back to Exquisite Timepieces before I whip out the credit card. They also sent over a Willard, so I'm just going to show it next to that just for the Seiko fanboys, so you can kind of see, man, it just has that diver sporty feel, but it has a fixed 24-hour stainless steel bezel. It just works at so many levels for me. I could imagine having like a 3-watch collection. You know, you could have like, you know, maybe a dressy, you know, I'm not really big into dressy. So I would maybe say maybe a really nice looking Alpinist maybe, and then say a Willard, and then maybe a Grand Seiko for your sports. That would be a killer 3-watch collection. I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box here, or babbling or something. I don't know. Anyway, big thanks to Exquisite Timepieces for allowing me to check this out and share it with you guys. There's a look at the loom. It is spectacular, just like all Seiko are. Grand Seiko is going to be as well. I like that they kind of just did the 12, 3, 6, and 9. It's different, and you can see under low light, the polishing on the polished and brushing on the indexes still sparkle in the light. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.